What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Amateur Pro Home Chef Nathanael Levinson, coming at you with another tier list. So today we're talking about fruit. Once again, like all the other tier lists, this is not 100% comprehensive because I have not tasted every single fruit that's ever been produced. But most of the major things are on here, and a couple surprises on here as well. We're just going to go through them again. As always, we're ranking them from S to F. S being straight out of Eden. A, a tasty treat at any time. B, fine but generally outclassed. C, better in recipes than on its own. D, not good, sad. And F, clearly a product of the fall of creation. So let's get started, keeping in mind that I enjoy dessert. I don't really have a sweet tooth, so I tend to prefer tart and savory over sweet. So with that said, let's start off with apples. Apples are better in recipes than on their own. I just find apples to be way too sweet. With one exception, Granny Smith apples are an A. They're nice and tart, and people have told me, don't go for the red gala or whatever, which is the generic red apple, which is really sweet. Try the what is it, like Golden Delicious and the Pink Lady, or these other ones. They're all too sweet. They're all too sweet. Granny Smith is the only one that's actually tart enough. So Granny Smith apple, really good. Any other apple, I cook with it, but not good. Avocados, I'm going to put as an A tier. Avocado is a solid fruit. Yes, it is a fruit. Again, that's one of the weird ones where it's definitely savory applications rather than sweet applications. I think avocados are great. We produce a lot of them in America, so that's good, like mostly in California, which makes you wonder why it's so expensive, why guacamole is so expensive when it's one of our most mass-produced fruits. Tastes great, good for you, good on pretty much any sandwich, is elevated by avocado. So banana, whoop. I'm going to say bananas are better in recipes than on its own. I'm just not a big banana person. For a long time, I just wouldn't eat them on their own. Then I would, but I'm just like, I don't know. It's like kind of sweet and weakly flavored. I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan. But banana pudding is really good. Also, if you put bananas in some crepes, really good. So banana has really good applications, but like just a raw banana, banana bread, obviously. Banana bread's amazing. But if it's just like regular bananas, I'm like, I'm iffy on it. Blackberries are S tier. Blackberries are just so good. Good blackberries, right? Sometimes you can get them where they're just tart, and those aren't good. But nice ripe blackberry where it's sweet and tart and just bursting with juice. Oh yeah, blackberries top tier, and they go well with a lot of desserts as well. Blood orange, I put it a B. Blood orange is similar to orange. It's a little bit sweeter. I find most of the things I enjoy that have blood orange or have blood orange juice in them. So don't really eat blood orange on its own a lot. It's a little bit sweeter than an orange, a little bit deeper flavor, but they're good. Blueberries. This is gonna get me some hate. I don't like blueberries. I really don't. I don't know. They always seem so appealing, and then I'll eat one and just be disappointed. Yeah, I don't know. Every time I eat a blueberry, I'm disappointed. It's just sad. And I know there are tons of people who are like, "Oh, the blueberries from Michigan or North Carolina, you get them every year. They're fresh," and I've had those. So not that I haven't had those. Just every time I pick up a blueberry, I'm like, maybe this blueberry will be good. Nope. So yeah, blueberries, not good. Cherries are S tier. Nice tart cherry. Now they're a little bit of work. I honestly think food that takes a little bit of work ends up tasting better. So like chicken wings with the bone in, sunflower seeds, shelling your own peanuts. Anything where you have to do a little bit of extra work, at the end result just tastes better. I'm convinced. I don't think it's in my head. It might be, but I don't think it is. Yeah, so cherries, absolutely delicious, sweet and tart, and like a perfect mouthful, perfect bite. So really, really good. These, I believe, I have a couple of different ones on here. These are tangerines. Tangerines, I'm gonna put at an A. Nah, I'm gonna put them at a B. Tangerines are good. They're probably my favorite of the orange or orangey family because they're like tartar, a different flavor. You just don't find them that much, but they're good. Tangerines are really good. Definitely tartar than your average orange, which I like. Cranberries, Cranberries are by default. Let me preface this by saying I love cranberries, but if you try to eat a raw cranberry, it's not pleasant. They're like tough and waxy and bitter and sour, but they're so good if you cook them in recipes. So this one's like, put an asterisk next to that, and that you're not supposed to eat them raw, but they're really good. Cucumber. Okay, here we go to one of the controversial ones. Cucumber is a fruit, right? So if we want to think biology, any fleshy body that contains a seed, that's a fruit. Okay, so like avocado, there's the fleshy body you're eating, and there's the seed, that's a fruit, right? So this is a fruit. I'm going to put it at S tier. I think cucumber is just fantastic. It's refreshing. It's tasty. You can make pickles. You can put it in drinks. It's very versatile. So when something's like delicious on its own and delicious in recipes, that's going to elevate it for me. That's cucumbers in S tier. No question in my mind. Dates. Dates are good. They're very much on the sweet side. They're almost like candy all on their own. They're very sweet, very dense, very sticky. Really good though. We did a date recipe, like stuff them with blue cheese and wrap them in bacon, and those are fantastic. So I do think you need that blue cheese and that bacon, the fat and the salt, to kind of balance out the overbearing sweetness of the dates. So they are really good. They are also really sweet, and again, sweet isn't really my thing. Figs are actually like really good on their own, but rarely will you get them on your own. Usually you'll get like a fig Newton or fig jam or something like that. But if you just eat a fig on its own, it's really tasty. It is similar to a date in that it's really dense, it's really sweet. Well, it's got a nice flavor, kind of a deep earthy flavor. Really good. I like figs, but not my go-to, and rarely will you find the fruit on its own. Most of the time you'll find it in other products. Grapefruit, I think, is an A tier. Now, it's been a while since I've actually had grapefruit, but I really like a good grapefruit. I used to put sugar on it, but now I really like tart things, so I'll just eat the grapefruit straight up by itself. Consequently, grapes. I gotta think about this for a second. Grapes are not good. I know a lot of people who like grapes. I really don't like raw grapes. I don't know. White and red grapes, don't taste good. Not a huge fan of raisins either. I like grape juice. I like wine, but yeah, I just don't like grapes. Sorry, sad. Jackfruit. Jackfruit. Now, this is belying the size of the jackfruit, because the jackfruit in reality is like gigantic. It's the size of a watermelon, and it's this weird spiky thing. It's bigger than a watermelon, actually. It's this weird spiky thing, and the fruit is weird. And it's funny because you can actually use it like as a meat substitute. So I'm gonna put it in F tier, not because I think it's disgusting, but because it's such a bizarre thing. It's just so weird. It's so weird, and it's like, I would never eat it on its own. What's funny is on its own, it kind of tastes like watery Skittles. Like this weird, vaguely fruity flavor. Just like if there was a LaCroix fruit, that's what jackfruit would taste like. But it's this giant thing, and you have to harvest these weird seeds. I don't know. Jackfruit is just like a whole thing, and I think it fits in this F category for a clear reason. Kiwi's an S tier. Kiwi is so good. Got to peel off the fuzzy skin, but man, it's sweet. It's tart. It's firm but not mushy. Really good. Lemons and limes. Lemons, I'm going to put it A, and limes, I'm going to put it S. So lemons and limes, obviously both citrus. Obviously, you're not eating them by themselves, generally speaking. Although you can cure or pickle or preserve both of lemon and lime slices and eat them on their own. But both generally too tart to just be eaten on their own. But both amazingly versatile, super delicious. I just think lime elevates it a little bit because lemon kind of is just sour, whereas lime is sour and has its own distinct flavor. So for that reason, I think a lime is elevated above lemon, but they're both solid, both must-haves in your kitchen, and they both last for a really long time because citrus fruit tends to keep really well because it's got a really thick skin. Mango. Ooh, mango is S tier. Pain in the butt to slice because you got that giant oblong seed in it. But oh boy, that's A ripe mango is just so good. Oh, mama. Yeah, that's really good. And don't forget to eat the seed when you're done, right? So, cutting the mango, you slice off one side, slice off the fingies, and then gnaw on the seed. That's how you do it. Oh man, good stuff. Um, Cantaloupe, and I'm gonna put cantaloupe, uh, cantaloupe, melon. I'm gonna put all melons except watermelon together. Okay, all melons. So cantaloupe, honeydew, you name it. Um, mm-mm, mm-mm. It's like sweet water with bad fruit flavor. And ironically, watermelon is an S tier. But just like cantaloupes and honeydews, I just don't understand how people eat them. They're just not good. They're just not good. Oh, I don't understand. I'll be generous. They're not good. They're not good. I believe this is Nectarines. So I have peaches in here too. Yeah, here. So these are peaches, I think. So peaches are B tier. No, they're A tier. But they're outclassed by Nectarines. So peaches and I'm right. Nectarines. Tangerines here. Nectarines here. Nectarines are better than peaches because they don't have that nasty fuzzy skin. So you can eat you can eat the skin of a peach, but it feels weird, right? Like someone's rubbing leather on your tongue. It's not good. So I have to peel a peach. I don't have to peel a nectarine, and they taste very similar. Usually nectarine flesh is firmer, but both really good. Both translate really well into cooking applications. The only thing I'll say is canned peaches are nasty. It's like someone took all of the flavor of a peach and threw it away or gave it to the LaCroix people, and then you just got this like mushy, sweet, nasty thing that doesn't taste a thing like a peach. So for most of these, you should avoid canned versions, right? For most fruits, avoid canned versions because they're like pasteurized and processed and they lose so much of the flavor. Just get fresh produce. It's readily available most places, so just get fresh produce when you can. Let's see. I'm gonna skip this one and come back to it. Regular old navel oranges. Regular old navel oranges, I'll put just below tangerines. They're good, really good. Like if you squeeze your own, like a fresh cup of orange juice, fantastic. Love it. Really good. I'll do the other orange one. Mandarins, I believe. I don't know what it is about mandarins, but I despise them. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I've had friends who just ate them all the time, so I just got sick of smelling that orangey scent that they would just fill the air with. Maybe it's because they're just not. They just don't have the chutzpah to just be an orange, and they don't have the wild side to be a tangerine. I hate mandarin oranges. I think they're horrible, or clementines, or whatever you call them. The little ones. You know the ones I'm talking about. The little ones. I hate them. And no, they should all rot and be replaced with tangerines, which are much better. Probably stepping on some toes here, so I apologize for that. Pineapples, and it's hard. See, pineapple depends on my mood, so I'm gonna put it in B. I'll put it in high B though, because pineapple really depends on my mood. Before we start talking about pineapples on pizza. Pineapple pizza is fine. I'll say that right now. I'm already being controversial, saying cucumbers are fruit. So why not keep the Jeep rolling? Putting clementines in F tier. Keep the Jeep rolling, right? I think pineapple on pizza is good. Fresh pineapple, really good. Really fresh pineapple is really good. Canned pineapple, that's not good. So it is a pain in the butt to break down. Really easy to get pineapple juice though, and it lasts for a long time. You just basically like chop up the pineapple, put it in a blender with a little bit of water, puree it, run it through some cheesecloth, and you got pineapple juice for drinking or for cocktails or for things like that. So it is. They are fun to throw at people. No, don't actually do that. Let's do this one. Let's go ahead and do this one. Olives. Yes, olives are a fruit. Again, a little bit of a weird one. I didn't touch every single weird one. So like zucchinis and squash and things like that are traditionally thought of as vegetables because they sit more in the savory camp than in the sweet camp. But again, like zucchinis and squash, those are fruits botanically, right? They are fruits. They're fleshy bodies that contain seeds. They're fruits. Olive, the fleshy body that contains a seed. That's a fruit. So olive is the fruit of the olive tree, right? That's an S tier, and that's top of S tier. I love olives. Now, I know people who don't like olives, but I think most of the time when people are like, oh, I don't like olives, you've had really bad olives. Like the flavorless, nasty, mushy black olives that you get at like a salad bar or on your pizza from Papa John's. Those olives are nasty. I will freely admit that. Probably the most well-known olive that isn't that is a Kalamata olive. Kalamata olives, they're briny, they're a little tart, they're super savory. So if you don't like salty things, you're not going to like olives. But that's a good place to start if you want to know what like good olives taste like. But I mean, they are a fruit, so there's all sorts of different kinds, and they're almost all delicious. There are a couple ones that are just a little too on the sweet side for my taste. I like my olives to be savory, but man, some good chalkadikis or some kalamatas. Pit in, please. Pitted olives do not taste as good. They're still. I mean, I'm not going to complain, right? I like a good olive, but the ones that have the pits in taste better. I promise. They just do. Papaya. Oh man, papaya goes in smoothies. Let's be honest. It's a smoothie. It's a smoothie fruit. Doesn't have much going on its own. Passion fruit's really good. It's like it's one of the weird ones because if you're actually like cut your own passion fruit, it's gross. It looks gross inside. It's like this snot with black dots in it. But it's really tasty. So I encourage you to go out and try to do your own passion fruit thing. But I love passion fruit flavor. I know people who don't, but I do. Plantains. Plantains are good, and they're super easy to make. Green plantains usually for savory applications because they haven't sweetened as much, and ripe yellow plantains usually for sweet applications. If you're wondering what a plantain is, it's basically a big banana that's more savory, more woody. It's relative of a banana. It looks like a giant banana, but it's not quite the same. But yeah, so if you get some like really nice ripe yellow plantains and just cut them into like 1 to 2 inch pieces, we'll do a plantain recipe. They're so easy, it's so good. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. And you just like a little bit of flour, fry them in oil, and they're just so good. So good. I love plantains. Plums are okay. I was actually out in California recently and had a fresh picked plum from a farm, and it was quite good. Still not really my cup of tea. It's tart and sweet, so kind of like most stone fruit. It has some tart, it has some sweet, but not really my bag. Pomegranates are an A in terms of flavor, but an F in terms of processing. I mean, what a pain in the butt. Got like all these little compartments with these little seeds in them. It's just obnoxious. Pomegranates are like the highest work to enjoyment ratio. Unfortunately, if pomegranates didn't taste good, I'm convinced we would burn all the pomegranate trees because what a pain in the butt to work with. But it is delicious, so that's its saving grace. Raspberries, S tier, right up there with blackberries. Just again, very similar to blackberries. A little tartar, a little softer, slightly different flavor profile, but both really sweet and tart and just punch up any dessert. Really good. Strawberries, actually, I'm going to put in B tier. I don't know, they're fine. But, I don't know. I just don't get amped up about strawberries like I do for raspberries and blackberries. So, I don't know. Starfruit's a weird one. It's kind of lacking in flavor, but it's kind of fun, right? It's one of those things where you try it once and then you never go back to it. It's just, and this is some of the fruits just have really mild flavors, and so they're just, they're like whatever. Like cucumber's got a really mild flavor, but it's really refreshing to eat, right? But starfruit's just kind of a mild flavor, and it's a bit of an annoyance to process. So I'll put it at the bottom of the B tier. Tomatoes, S tier fruit. Tomatoes are a fruit. Don't argue with me about this. If you want to talk about, for tax purposes, they're classified as a vegetable, that's for taxes. That has nothing to do with whether or not it's a fruit. It's a fleshy body, you cut it open, it's got seeds inside. That is a fruit. That is the definition of a fruit. Tomatoes a fruit. Don't fight with me about this. Which makes salsa tomato chutney. But that's okay. That's neither here nor there. Tomatoes, all sorts of different kinds. Obviously, tomatoes, savory applications pretty much exclusively. You can do things with tomatoes to really bring out the sweetness, and you could use them in dessert applications, but that's more of a gimmick than a traditional way to use it. Now, tomatoes you buy from the store are probably B tier. But when I'm talking about this S, you walked into the garden, you said hi to the cherub at the Gate of the Flaming Sword, you walk in the garden, you grab a tomato, right? A homegrown tomato that's allowed to ripen on the vine, and you pull it off the vine, and you eat it, and you can taste the sun and the soil, and it's just rich and sweet and juicy. It's one of the best things you will ever eat. And then you take whatever else you have, toast some pumpernickel or some rye bread, a little bit of mayonnaise, sliced tomato, salt and pepper, basil, boom, eat that for the rest of my life. I could give up eating everything else if I just had an infinite supply of sun-grown tomatoes and just make tomato sandwiches. I could live on that forever. Just absolute top tier. And then finally, the pears. I have never enjoyed eating a pear. They're mushy, they're weak, they're really sweet. I don't understand what people see in them. I really don't. So if you like pears, please let me know. What is it about pears that you like? I don't get it. I really don't. I don't think pears are good. And I'm willing to die on this hill that pears are not good. So I do have a question for any of you who have eaten durian. Now, if you don't know what durian is, it is a fruit that is so controversial, it has been banned in certain countries in public. It's illegal in certain countries to take a durian fruit on a public transport. And there are actually black markets for this fruit. Apparently it's because it smells like rotting flesh. But people say it tastes like custard, like it's got a custardy texture. I'm not keen to try it. But if you've ever tried durian, please let me know. Please put in the comments. Please let me know, what does durian taste like? Does it smell that bad? Because all I've heard are stories, right? So I'm really curious, but not so curious that I actually want to go buy durian. And I actually know where they sell durian in Charlotte. So I could, but I don't think I want to. So maybe we'll do that on Tasty Testers. We'll just get a durian and we'll try durian. That might be the last episode we do, because when I decide that eating is not worth it. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on fruits and vegetables. Well, fruits, not vegetables, just fruits. And these are, there's obviously different varietals and different things like that. All fruit is going to be better if you can get it fresh. Like if you picked it yourself from a farm, from a bush, it's going to taste better. Because the vast majority of the time, most fruits are not allowed to ripen on the vine. They're picked when they're green, when they're still unripe, because it's much easier to ship an unripe fruit because they're much harder, much firmer. They ship them unripe, then when they get close to the destination, they hit them with a gas called ethylene, which actually is put off by bananas. So bananas exude ethylene gas, which is why if you put bananas with other fruits, it'll ripen those other fruits. And it makes the fruit ripen, but the fruit's no longer getting nutrients from the main body of the plant. So while it does change the color and soften, it doesn't develop the same complexity of flavor, because it's not getting sugars, it's not getting other nutrients. So anything that's been allowed to ripen on the tree, on the bush, on the vine is going to taste significantly better than something that you bought in a store that was not allowed to ripen on the vine. I mean, it really, tomatoes I think is the one that you're most likely to get a taste of, right? Because you can grow tomatoes on your own. But people who have been to countries where they grow mangoes and been like, I went and plucked a mango and ate it. It's like eating a tomato from the store is like eating the ghost of a tomato. It's a complete world of difference, right? It's the dream world tomato, whereas the sun ripened vine grown tomato is the real world tomato, right? The Matrix tomato versus the real world tomato. So, if you can, farmers markets are everywhere. Fresh produce is always going to taste better, and you'll support your local market. So I recommend you do that. All right, so until then, I'm your boy, Amateur Pro Home Chef Nathanael Levinson. Let me know what fruits you like. Let me know why I should have put blueberries higher. Let me know why pears are good. You're wrong. I can't. I've tried. My brain can't wrap around why people like pears. Blueberries, I can see it. Grapes, I can see it. Cantaloupe, even to some extent, I can see it. Clementines, but pears, I got nothing, man. I don't know why anyone would eat them. So let me know in the comments, and until next time, I'll see you.